Hello and a very warm welcome to the Insider SA, your guide to living better. Join us today as we open up to attention to detail. And with nothing but pencil and paper, Jono Dry turns social media into an art form. Creating masterpieces from their garage-sized fashion market, a team of South African women export around the world. Building their dream home together makes a couple's marriage stronger than ever. From just an idea to OMG, fashion creative Sir Abner and furniture designer Sipho Khwebula Thwala pool their creative forces. With a beach house on a mountain, you get 2 holidays in one. And as her star keeps rising, Miss SA Lalela Mswane ticks all the boxes to win Miss Supranational. As the lyric of a famous song goes, that was the river, this is the sea. And for Johannes and Audrey Vernickak, it's the story of their journey here. From 31 years of living on the Orange River in Kakamas, Northern Cape, to planning and building their dream home here in Langebaan.
Welcome to Insider SA, to the view. Please come in.
Through years of sitting on the half-built skeleton of their house, they only grew fonder of this place.
We've been coming here all our life. Our family's got beach houses here. In the early years, me and my wife, we love our water skiing as well. And the lagoon is perfect for that. And Langebaan, we fell in love with it. And we decided we need to build a place for us here as well to come relax.
While they spent months deciding on the interior wall color, once they'd made their choice, everything just seemed to fit.
This is my favorite place of the house, the living area, close to the pool, close to the kitchen, and very close to the braai. The best part of having your barbecue in the center of the house is you can interact with all your friends and your family. You're close to the kitchen, and me coming from the Northern Cape, love to braai. Here next to it, we've got the TV always for a good game of rugby when you're having a braai, so that you can all enjoy it. And then my daughter's beanbags to bring some color into the house. The living room is really the centerpiece of the house. After the barbecue and the big screen TV, my favorite is still the heated pool with the martini seat and enjoy the view of Langebaan Lagoon.
To achieve that meant building on columns to bring the house forward on this 45-degree slope.
The biggest obstacles were maybe everything had to be concrete, even our roof is concrete, to make sure the wind doesn't blow the structure around, because from the bottom in the front till the top, it's more than 20 meters high. The pool is 13 meters in the air. So that was the biggest challenges of this house, to keep that in mind and to make sure, because you're high, that the wind doesn't bother you.
The decor was to be Audrey's field, turning to Pinterest for ideas and wanting to support local manufacturers. She found a wealth of homegrown talent available to assist.
For the home, I've been responsible for the interior design. Although I'm not an interior designer, I just had the passion for it. During the process of building the view, we've been sitting here for many months, and we had a clear view of the different colors of the ocean, the sand, the sea, the sunsets, and we decided to really try and incorporate that inside our house. The elements we tried to incorporate was the color of the lagoon at all different times. So we tried to really get the blues in, to really bring the sand color into the home. So from the floors to the wall color, we just tried to bring the natural colors through. We're in the kitchen, in my most favorite room in the house. I love it because it's part of the house. The open space creates this amazing feeling of being part of my family. Doesn't matter if someone is making a fire, I can cook, I can entertain, and also be part of the whole group. Because the kitchen is so broad, we just needed to fill it with a large island so that we can cook and entertain and just be comfortable around it. Coming from the main entrance, I would like to take you into the main guest bedroom. So, as you can see from the main guest bedroom, you can see a beautiful view. So you have a wonderful view from the bed as well as from the bath. We decided on this beautiful sheer curtain so that you have your privacy, but you can always see the lagoon. We chose the hanging lights to keep our bedside tables uncluttered. The carpet, the bedspreads, everything complements this beautiful natural color of the room. We are now in the second guest room at the bottom, and as you can see, we've continue keeping the same elements throughout the house, but this one has something special with Johannes' grandma's Art Deco city. We have just tried to add some wooden elements here and there just to give it a bit of a different look.
Whichever room you're in, no one is shortchanged on the magnificent vistas.
Walking up the stairs, I can take you to the main bedroom. As you can see, we've added some extra comfort, some lovely deep sitting couches. Waking up here in the morning is absolutely amazing to be able to have a coffee in bed. It's a peacefulness about this place with the views of the ocean, the birds just here. And this main bedroom really allows me to relax because it has a sense of serenity. So for the patio area, we really wanted for everybody to enjoy themselves, and therefore we've choose easy living furniture that you can just be comfortable, have a swim and be able to just relax here.
Making friends along the way. With the construction of their new home, they've created an entertainer's dream.
The thing I'm most proud of this house is the whole house from the bottom to the top. It was all an unbelievable experience, and I think what you get out of it, we all say the pool all the time, but the whole house is an unbelievable experience.
So they say if you can build a house together, your marriage can last forever. So yes, I'm certain we've done this together, so we can pretty much do anything together.
Making sure you can enjoy the sights of the lagoon, cocktail in hand, from your heated pool in the middle of winter. Now that's attention to detail. Next up, Ndebele Art meets the taxi seat in the future of design, and a glorious SA brand exports worldwide.
Sponsored by Capitec. Simplify banking. Live better.
The global impact that South African fashion brand Coast & Koi has is out of all proportion to the size of the team behind it. It's because the sheer originality of founding designer Karen Walensky and detailed mastery of the women who execute her vision make it unique in all the world.
Hi Insider SA, welcome to our mini souk at the tip of Africa. Come and see what we do in our studio. I was a high-end fashion buyer, and I came back to South Africa in 2002 and had to start from scratch. And through working in a ballet factory, I learned how to make shoes and took it from there into my own brand. We are a proudly South African brand, and we have been going since 2005. We create kimono-style robes. We create leisure wear. We believe in colors. So our mixes of colors are quite unorthodox, and people find joy in it. We start off at our other factory by creating the original shoe, and that's a 7-step process. It's very involved. And after that, the shoes come to our little mini souk here, and I work with my girls, and we sit on the floor and we put jewels and beads on each single one. And that's why it's called slow fashion, because this is really slow fashion, although sometimes we have to rush. we have different seasons, and of course Europe is in full swing, so we're very busy at the moment.
A significant reason for that is that these shoes, clothes and accessories have been championed by another woman entrepreneur with a thriving business and most excellent surname.
I'm Catherine Magnifica, and owner of Kaiser Wild, and we are an online platform selling South African brands to the UK and Europe. For us, it's all about being different, and the beauty of Coast & Koi is everything is once off, and each shoe is individually designed, and there's only one of them. Karen is incredible with uplifting the people around her, and that is what also makes her brand just so unique and so incredible. And for me, the background of Karen's shoes and our brand, they collide like that, where we're trying to uplift communities around these brands.
I'm so blessed to have the team that I have. They have been with me through thick and thin, and it's stressful at times to get orders out, but they always have my back, and we're a fantastic group together. I could never do this without them.
Manager Anifa Adonis has been key to creating this worldwide enterprise, one glorious detail at a time.
Everything here, we created ourselves. Myself and Karen will sit with braids, tassels, beads, whatever. We make up the shoes, take a picture of the shoes, go to the next one, till the 10 or 20 are done. After that, I'll give each girl 3, 4 to 5 pairs of shoes, send the pictures in the group, and everyone knows what to do. Yeah, and then we go from there. I'm proud of the fact that I can take something from nothing and make it into something for the clients.
With Capitec's banking app taking care of her financial life, Anifa can focus fully on what she does best.
I've been with Capitec for 14 years now. What I like about them is their banking fees are cheap. You can open a savings account, you can buy electricity and airtime on the app. If I have money in my account and I want to give someone money that doesn't live near me, I can just use the app on my phone, or I can use it at the bank. Without the bank card, I can just put money in, transfer money, just need the account number of the other person. Easy as that.
Just about everyone who experiences the brand becomes a fan, like wellness coach and model Babalwa Umni.
I love the color. I love the uniqueness of it. The fact that each and every piece is unique, like that is beautiful and crazy. And I love that I can become a part of the creative process, being a creative myself, and just having so much fun to dress and remembering who you are. And so that I really, really enjoyed.
Karen has so much experience that she always gladly shares. She's always open and she's always there. If you need someone to talk to, she's always there to help. And I just really love her humbleness and how she just keeps pushing us to do the best we can.
As a client and a friend, I think the things that stand out for me is just the magic that Karen just weaves daily. But most of all, her pieces just make you ridiculously happy. It's dopamine dressing, it's color therapy, you just take on a whole different persona whenever you wear her clothes, and she puts things together in such a way that you've never thought before. So she challenges you in terms of what goes together and what doesn't, and she's an incredible inspiration to a lot of people.
We are very blessed to have expanded around the world now. We're just about every country that you can dream of. And we're very proud that we do it all out of this little mini souk here, which is really a converted garage. And our mission here is to showcase South Africa to its very best, put out the most beautiful pieces that we can produce, and show the world what we're capable of.
Bucking trends toward mass production, our gifted countrywomen are bringing the world back to appreciating unique design while uplifting those who create it. If you have a similar idea for how we can live better, tell us how and stand a chance of winning 1,000 Rand. Simply reply to the competition post on the Insider SA's social media platforms using #LiveBetter. T's and C's apply and can be found on the Insider SA website. The work of furniture and fashion designers is on us and all around us. Redefining these fields down to the finest detail are two trailblazers who got it in their heads that something extraordinary had to come from joining forces.
Hi, Inside SA. My name is Sir Abner and I'm here with my fellow collaborative artist.
My name is Sipho Thwala from Khwebula Arts, and we're here to show you our new furniture designer pieces for Joburg Design.
We just met literally for the first time for this collaboration specifically. So me finding out that he has a background as a taxi driver was kind of like an immediate connection because I almost share the same trajectory to get to this point. Formerly trained as a graphic designer, multimedia designer, but I decided to go into retail because I was trying to figure out how to get to this point. So same with him. Maybe he wasn't so sure that he would be here, but I feel like the journeys are so close to one another.
Before I actually got into the furniture manufacturing industry, I was a taxi driver, and I never really thought that I'll become a furniture maker. I got an opportunity from the Department of Economic Development to take part in a learnership program. So I took the course, and then after 3 months, I started my own company, which actually failed within a year due to lack of experience, and I wasn't really good in terms of producing good quality furniture pieces.
Not to be defeated, Sipho used YouTube videos to teach himself 3D design, then honed his skills with a master craftsman.
After my company failed, I went on and worked for David Krano, who then introduced me to furniture design. After 3 years of working for David, I decided that I'm gonna go on my own, and me being a designer and being a manufacturer and combining my hustle mentality, which I actually got from being a taxi driver, I decided that I'm gonna give birth to Khwebula Arts.
What I enjoy most about Sipho's way is really his aesthetic, you know, in terms of how he approaches his furniture design, because he really wants to go the extra mile and be a manufacturer. So I like the Renaissance man part of that, because I also view myself as a Renaissance man. Most of his chairs resemble something like a Bauhaus movement, you know, which I quite enjoy, because yes, it's local, but it's very local in a sense that it's very internationally stylized.
Abner's print was inspired by a portrait of artist Dr. Esther Mahlangu, but interpreted in his own visual language.
I have a background in multimedia and graphic design. Originally, I wanted to study textiles or something like fashion, because those are the only two spaces where you can mix these sort of ideas to kind of tell a different story of the same mindset, but using a variety of like byproducts. Yeah, and that's what I like about fashion, you know. It allows you to combine both art and design to create your own design language.
Me being a furniture designer who does a lot of customized stuff and unique stuff, I saw it as an opportunity to actually collaborate with a textile designer who's going to be able to infuse my ideas and his ideas. We'll come up with the fabric, and we'll come up with the designer wooden frame, and we just create like a very unique furniture piece.
This fabric, I like the fact that it complements the composition of the artwork itself, because it's inspired by a lot of Ndebele architectural style, really, of making houses or like the walls outside the actual house. So a lot of those shapes come from there, you know. So I wanted to depict my own interpretation of that. So it's literally like a modern day Ndebele artwork, which just uses black and white.
For me, it's a mind-blowing experience, you know, because I've never seen fabrics being made from scratch, you know. So just me being here, you understand, like it's a very inspirational moment, and I'm learning a lot of things about fabric design. And you know, I didn't know that you can actually like design like a pattern from scratch and then you print it out on the fabric. I didn't know how the process actually works. So me being here, you know, it's sort of like it exposed me to another side of design, which is textile design.
What I like about collaborating with another designer that doesn't do the same thing that I do is that my skill set then becomes horizontal in terms of the growth. So really, it just allows me to be like a lifetime student, honestly, and just keep taking information where I can and then using it towards my own practice.
When it debuted at Design Joburg, their collaborative bench based on a minibus seat was the talk of the town.
People are just mind blown by our stand. It's really surprising. I wasn't expecting such a good response. They see the craftsmanship in our work and they see Sir Abner's textiles and the way he designed this whole space, because he did the positioning of the furniture and the interior design of the space. Basically, he came up with it. So he really did a good job, and it's a really inspirational space. The design of this chair, it is partly inspired by a taxi seat. And obviously I sent it to Sir Abner. He had his own input. He was like, okay, cool, that's dope, let's change here, let's change here. Actually, we came up with 2 designs. And he was like, no, let's go with this one, which was this one.
If you look at the back seat of the bench, it actually has like a coded message in it that speaks to the inspiration of Sipho's background, trajectory, to how he got here, you know, to sort of make the concept more tangible for you to actually see and own, you know?
Me and Sir Abner, we're definitely still going to do a lot of work together. I have a lot of design ideas, and me collaborating with him has actually sparked other ideas, you know, so I would really like to spend more time with him and sort of like work on more stuff, more projects and more interior design stuff. And we're still going to produce some really cool stuff for South Africa, you know, so yeah.
The day that the names Thwala and Makamata came together may prove a landmark in South African design. And you were there to see it. Right after this, with a Zen mountain retreat behind and a beach house in front, you get 2 holiday homes in one. Here, between Lion's Head and the deep blue of the Atlantic, is where a Joburg family have chosen to make their place at the sea. Calling on the interior design team who mastered their Highveld hideaway, what they created with Gerhard Nieuwoud and Emma Newton is a style they've coined as Santon by the Sea.
Welcome to Fresno. Come inside. This is a 4-story home for a family of 5. The clients felt that the house was stuck in the 90s and they wanted us to refine it and make it a bit more rustic and a nice beach getaway for them. We'd previously done work for the owners and they enjoy a tranquil space, and that's what we tried to achieve here. So we did that through a lot of natural textures and making sure that this place feels calming to them. And what's more calming than arriving to your beach house with an ocean view? This space is a nice combination of luxury and comfort. It's got the contrasting bamboo chairs with the really ostentatious furry ottomans. And we felt once we completed this space that it was just missing something. So we hunted through Cape Town and we ended up finding this surfboard, which we felt was like a really great boat to the ocean, and especially since this area frames that view.
When done as well as this, attention to detail has the effect of evoking an atmosphere rather than focusing the eye on specifics. Gerhard Nieuwoud broke down how they achieved that.
So to pick up with the flow of the home that you encounter as you come in through the entrance area, seeing straight through the ocean, and all the views being on this side, obviously we wanted to continue that flow into the house. Because it was an existing home that we had to redesign from the previous layouts, we felt to change things up a little bit. So originally the traditional setup would have been a dining room table facing this way, but that left us with the problem of half our guests not getting to enjoy the view. So to rectify that problem, we designed this beautiful stone table with a slab that we curated from Gauteng, had this designed and added onto the counter so it feels like it's part of that design element, but also allowing all guests to enjoy the view at the same time while socializing. And something to contradict what we did with the flow of spaces and the chairs and the layout of the table was actually placing these beautiful grass lanterns above the table to emphasize the space, create a bit of visual zoning, but also to accommodate the fact that we have a very low ceiling, and instead of trying to maximize it, I'm actually making it a bit more cozy by filling in a timber panel above it and having these create a purpose to the ceiling being this low.
With a skylight to draw the sunshine deep into this living area, it brings to life one particular painting from the owner's wide-ranging art collection.
We designed a sofa that's lower than you usually would be on the back, so people could sit and utilize it, but when you're in the space itself, it doesn't block it up and you have unobscured views all the way through. And then behind us, and this is a trick we use all the time, especially if you have a longer space that you're trying to lead people into and invite them, is have a feature piece at the end of that space. It creates depth. We achieve that through putting this beautiful artwork here. This one actually creates a bit more of a formal feel to this casual lounge, where I wanted to also find balance between the natural elements and the more luxe elements. Ergo, a soft sofa and a lovely plush fabric, and then a grass rug on the floor here to counteract that and create a bit of a cohesive feel throughout the whole space from the front door to here.
No detail was overlooked.
It just made sense to give a bit of a purpose to this landing area underneath the staircase by putting in a bit of a study space and then linking it with a fun space, so a bar that actually sits underneath the staircase so that we can utilize the fact that it actually slopes down to the ground. And then a little something special is a cigar lounge that's just almost a logical thing to have on the other side of a bar. So obviously with this being Fresno and built against a hill, yard space is not a luxury you have. So you have to make the most of every outside area you have. In this case, we were lucky enough to have a slab over us, so it gave me the opportunity to create a transition from the inside to the outside, having soft furnishings and making it part of the actual home. Now, to give some tips on how to actually make an outdoor space feel like it's indoor, there's a couple of simple things you could do. And the one thing about all spaces is actually having a feature point. Well, here we wanted to create something different through a coffee table. Now, I played with different heights and shapes, brought it all together, still giving us the functional purpose a coffee table would give you, but creating interest at the same time and playing with different elements and materials. So your timbers, which links the rest of the house to outside then, and then some clay pots and glass to just kind of mix things up a little bit and keep that interest going.
A plunge pool was essential given the home's distance from the beach, with a rustic hammock-like daybed to soak in the glory. And if the weather turns, they've got you covered.
When you've got a multi-level house like this and there's a massive amount of storage basement at the bottom, it only makes sense to give it a function. And in this case, we turn it into a bit of a home cinema. It's a space for the kids and the family to get away. It's far enough down that the sound doesn't affect anyone else in the home, so it just made perfect sense to slap a big TV in here and give a comfortable couch where the kids can kick back, eat some popcorn and enjoy a movie. With it being a basement and being underground, subterranean basically, it just made sense to also have the wine cellar here. The client's an avid collector of some beautiful wines, and this makes climate control really easy. It's split up into a white and red wine section divided by glass. But at the same time, with this being a cinema as a shared function, the beautiful blue lighting and the accent lighting just makes sense when you switch the lights off and watch a movie.
Fall asleep during the movie and you're practically in bed. But if you can make the effort to get up to your top floor suite, waking up here in the morning is heavenly.
The only level of this home we haven't explored yet is upstairs, which houses all the bedrooms. Beautifully designed to be sea-facing, giving you a view where you can unwind at the end of the day, looking at the ocean. We try to keep a cohesive design style throughout the home, so I brought elements into each of the rooms, even though they're not massive because most of the house is dedicated to entertainment, they're still nice and spacious. So we linked those elements from downstairs up here with the timber finishes, the little Malawian fish that we sourced, and then clever things maximizing that space, like hanging the pendants above the bedside tables instead of placing them on them, allowing us to have smaller bedside tables and giving you ultimately a calm space to unwind at the end of the day after playing so hard.
Then there's the whole other kind of holiday you can have by walking out the back door.
So the main bedroom has this hidden little gem of a balcony at the back, which is one of the only two spots in the home where you can see Lion's Head from. Now the whole house is focused on the ocean views as you would usually have at a beach house, but I particularly fell in love with this little balcony at the back. It gives the clients an opportunity to actually escape to a different side of the home and take in the mountain. And this family is quite a spiritual family, so this created the prime opportunity for us to have a bit of a almost meditation balcony at the back where they can get away from the hustle and bustle of the front where you can see the city and the ocean, and then just relax and reflect at the back here, enjoying the mountain.
Needing some outsized charisma to fill the stairwell, Che Guevara more than answered the call, as have the entire design team.
Hi Emma, how was your coffee?
Great, thanks. We really enjoyed having you guys, and I hope we gave you some good tips.
Yes, it was a great project that we really enjoyed working on. Love how it turned out, really proud of it. And we'll see you guys at the next one.
Achieving such a natural seaside feel in the midst of this ocean of glass, rock and steel is a job we'd be just as proud of. Just ahead, Miss SA Lalela Mswane shares some new perspectives on life as she eyes the Miss Supranational title. Finishing in the top 3 of 100 Miss Universe contestants was impressive, but at home we found Miss SA Lalela Mswane planning to go all the way this July and win Miss Supranational.
Hi Insider SA, welcome to my apartment, and you're just in time for my first activity of the day, which is my morning stretches. Let's go. My year of reign as Miss South Africa, I always call it an answered prayer. I'm currently living in an answered prayer. It's been filled with lots of ups and downs, a roller coaster I must say, but really exciting for the most part, and I'm truly excited to see what the remainder of my year has in store for me. Maintaining my health and fitness is very important as a Miss South Africa, and because I'm super busy, so I need to be performing at my best. And I think what that looks like for me is just taking care of both my physical and mental well-being as best that I can, so that I ensure that I operate at my optimal state.
This law degree grad hasn't spent much time at home between tackling job creation and other demands of the title, but she is very fond of her Miss SA pad.
So I definitely am in love with the entire apartment, but my favorite part, or room rather, has to be my bedroom. That's mostly where I spend my time, where I just get to relax. And another part I really like and I enjoy spending time in is the balcony. You'll find me there reading, meditating, having a think. So yeah, those two spaces have to be my favorite. Guys, there's actually one more thing I want to show you guys. So exciting. I actually have my favorite garment with me all the time. And last year, the finalists were paired up with a local South African designer, and we got to design our evening gowns. So this one is mine, and it was created by Yolashe. And it's quite cool that I get to have it with me. She is ever so beautiful, like the last time I wore her. My confidence on stage now versus the beginning of my Miss South Africa journey is night and day. I was a little timid, a little shy in the beginning, but now I think I definitely earned that stage. One of my favorite parts about being Miss South Africa, something that's super exciting for me, is working with Vadna, the Queen Maker himself. So I know I'm in safe hands, and it's such an exciting journey because there's never a dull moment with him.
Lalela's been one of those rare finds where from the moment that she entered Miss South Africa and she stepped into the room, she was the hardest worker. And you would think a woman that is that beautiful and that accomplished would kind of rest on her laurels and be like, you know, I've got this. And we've seen that numerous times over the years. But the thing that was so prevalent and so, you know, such a shining piece of who she is that she was always the one that kept on working from the get-go. She would be the first one in the room and the last one leaving. I remember one specific instance where we started training runway, and I basically told her I had no notes for her because she was so fantastic on runway. And yet she would, as I was training the other girls, she would keep on training. People would sit down and they would relax because their feet were hurting, and Lalela was just like, no, I need to get this perfect. And that is something that you can't teach.
Preparation for Miss Supranational actually comprises so many elements. Runway, makeup training, wardrobe, speaking, and with Vanna by my side, I know I'll absolutely make South Africa proud.
I think a lot of people have such a warped perception of what pageant trainee really means, especially for me and for the Miss South Africa organization. A lot of people have this idea that it's all about runway and about, you know, dresses, but it really is not about that. We understand that these women are putting themselves on a platform where they will be judged by millions of people all over the world, whether it be for Miss South Africa or for the international competitions. So most of our training really happens around their mental well-being, around the strength that they can portray when they are on those stages, when they are in interview. I think that is where our secret lies. Really, it is about making sure that this woman feels comfortable enough to put herself on a global stage and be ready for whatever may come her way.
Lalela has encouraged women to choose courage over comfort at every opportunity they get. And together with her friend Zanele Pakati, they were going to do just that with balloon chief pilot Tracy Robb.
Hot air ballooning is the oldest form of aviation in the world. 1783 was the first balloon flight in France, the Montgolfier brothers. And obviously over the years it's improved in technology. Safety measures, hot air ballooning is considered the safest form of aviation, statistically. It really is. It's a very safe form of flying. When you take a ride in a hot air balloon, you can expect stunning scenery. We go up to at least 1,000 feet or so above ground, which gives you a beautiful view of the valley we're flying in. I explained to the ladies about this being the oldest existing mountain range in the world, stunning views, and it's just incredibly quiet. You can be 1,000 feet off the ground and still hear the frogs, still hear the birds.
While Lalela has achieved much in her reign already, making a friend for life is definitely a highlight.
I really value friendship so much, and having made a friend like Zanele is so amazing because, you know, she's been there for me through the ups and the downs of this Miss South Africa journey, and she's actually become a sister.
My friendship with Lalela is probably the best thing that happened to me this year. We actually met on Valentine's Day. She's being the most amazing girl, and I'm so grateful to have her in my life. We are actually sisters now. So when my friendship started with Lalela, we obviously spoke, and I obviously asked her, like, you know, with the Miss SA journey, what's that? Why did you want to go for it? And she actually told me that from the time she was 7 years old, she always dreamed of being a Miss South Africa.
I always call Miss South Africa an empowerment platform for women, but I think above that, it's really just about the responsibility and the duty to serve. A lot of people are looking up to you, a lot of girls, so you need to lead by example, and that's exactly what a Miss South Africa is, and something that, or someone I think that I am.
I met her when she was already a Miss South Africa, and there was never even a time she'd made me feel small. So she embodies a woman who is courageous, she's very kind, and she's very loving and giving too.
Well grounded by the employment issue she's made her top priority, Lalela's #BeReadyDrive is about creating entrepreneurs, like the couple who started this business, run by Dale de Klerk.
We have this pavilion here, which is our restaurant where people arrive and then do the balloon flight. Also get transported back here where we serve them a breakfast. The reason that this is an ideal spot for ballooning is because of the view of the Magaliesberg, the view of the Hartbeespoort Dam, and when you go high enough you can see the city of Johannesburg and Pretoria as well. And we also have a situation where the prevailing winds are of such a nature that we don't get blown all over the countryside. We move either east or west along the valley.
On our ride, Miss Mswane had shared her philosophy on life, that it's best to build your own table, not wait to be seated.
I'm not really afraid of heights, so I was very excited to see everything. It was so picturesque, and what made it even more special for me was getting to share the experience with my beautiful baby, my friend Zanele.
Getting to share this experience with Lalela, it was both our first time. I've also never been in one, and just being high up in the sky, so I'm also not scared of heights. So that was epic, amazing, and let's do it again.
Thank you, Inside SA, for spending some time with me and for actually just seeing that my life isn't all glitz and glam. I do enjoy a bit of downtime with those that I love. Friend, how did you experience this morning?
That was amazing. I think we should definitely do it again.
I think downtime is over. Let's get back to business.
Oh.
Each January, Lalela picks a theme for her year. This year, it's relentless. Just so the other missed Supernatural entrants know what's coming. Next, for an artist working with pencil and paper, Jono Dry sure makes his mark on YouTube and Instagram. Despite his obvious talent and extraordinary attention to detail, self-taught artist Jono Dry didn't grow up thinking that this was a viable career path. But continuously learning new skills, he created the ingredients to not only make his bread and butter, but food for the mind and soul too.
Hi, I'm Jono Dry, and I do pencil drawings. Welcome to my studio. I think my love for drawing developed at a very young age. I grew up in a creative house. My mom's an artist and my dad's an architect. And so my mom particularly encouraged me to draw, but very gently. She's like a very gentle soul. So I don't think I was ever aware of her like pushing art or drawing onto me. But as I grew older, I think it was just this constant thing that had always been around and slowly developed more and more passion over the years for it. I get my inspiration, it's not really from any single source. It's a melting pot of different ideas. But my mom has inspired me a lot. Her work is very like fantastical and inspired by mythology. And she used to read me a lot of fantasy novels when I was a kid to put me to sleep. So there's definitely that aspect of my imagination is influenced by like Tolkien and stuff like that. And then later on in life, I became really interested in mental health and finding metaphors to try and depict some of the things that I was feeling and that the people, my friends and family around me were potentially feeling and the discussions that we were having. I think my inspiration is completely saturated in my lived life, where it's hard to figure out what the actual points are.
Documenting this process on his YouTube channel has seen him gather over 400,000 subscribers.
I've chosen pencil because of accessibility. So I started practicing and just creating art in primary school and high school. And so the only medium that I had access to at the time was pencil. And then I think it was out of just familiarity that I stuck to it. So this artwork is a rendition that I've been doing of the Three Graces, which is an artwork that's been done by many different artists over the centuries. It's an incredibly beautiful artwork, and I thought that I would try my hand drawing my own version of it. But I didn't want to do it in like the classical way that it was done by everyone else, so I tried to just put a little bit of a twist on it. So the main figure is a deer, and then the space that the deer is sharing is occupied by two wolves. I just thought it was an interesting juxtaposition to have these kind of creatures which are usually at ends with each other, sharing a space, and it might be a hostile or it might be a nurturing space, I'm not sure. This is all pencil, but pencil can be used in many different ways. So I'm using normal pencils just to get more finer details in there. I use a whole lot of different kinds of pencils for the drawing. The way it works is you go from 6H all the way to 8B, 6H being the hardest graphite and 8B being the softest graphite. And I prefer working with softer graphite because I find it easier to push it around the page. And then I'll grind down a 9B graphite stick and make powder out of that. And with that powder, I can get a really dark background, which has been really useful for adding extra contrast to my drawings. And to apply that graphite, I'll use different makeup sponges, which turns out they're really good at applying graphite, not just makeup. Sometimes I'll use cotton wool, and this is a tiny makeup sponge for more detailed areas. Yeah, there's a lot of tools to use to push graphite around a piece of paper, and you can just get experimental with it.
And if you're looking for honesty and hard-won wisdom about everything for a living, he's happy to share.
It's difficult to concentrate for a long period of time. I think any student knows that. I myself struggle with concentration. I have ADD or ADHD, and I've basically spent my whole life trying to sit down, focus, and draw. And so I'm quite sensitive to my mental state while I'm working. So there's an incredible amount of frustration and anxiety as well, especially if I've finished half of a drawing and then I'm not getting a texture that I'm trying to achieve. and feeling like I'm ruining all the hard work that I put into something over the course of like a previous month. There's a whole array of emotions. The inverse of that is also just looking at a piece and you've nailed the texture and it came out exactly the way you wanted it, and there's a huge amount of joy in achieving that. So it's a roller coaster of emotion going through a drawing and trying to diminish the anxiety around not getting things the way that you want them to, and just try and maximize the appreciation when you do get things right the way that you want to. Art is kind of like survival for me because it's what I've chosen to pursue as a career. So there's a commercial aspect of it for me, but I just can't imagine doing anything else because, spending my time trying to think of things to create is the most fulfilling use of my life that I can imagine. I think it's just incredibly fulfilling to have my day-to-day life be something that I'm creating something. I get to try and think of new things to make. And in its simplest form, that's the most rewarding thing to do.
Alongside leaving a legacy by sharing his learning with his 300,000 plus followers on Instagram. Respect. Join us again next week when the Ndlovu Youth Choir carry the pride of a nation in song. Miss Teen Universe runner-up Ntando Skutla leads the progress of young women. TikToker Mogelings is the outwardly proud face of how far we've come. And in Semi Lubisi's Ivory Park Portraits, home is where the art is. Get more of the Insider SA online. Follow, connect, engage, and be inspired to live better with the Insider SA. Watch the show Monday evenings at 6. Repeat Saturday at 1 on S3.